As far as weed goes, I've been on both sides of the conversation, from user to completely quitting and being in the stance that I'm in now, which is off of it entirely. And I've believed that weed was actually helping me while I was using it. And I was using it for plenty of years from my early teens all the way up until my early 20s. And I've worked in the cannabis industry. I've also completely quit, like how I am now. And I don't think that the answer is as simple as is weed good or bad, but I think it is more of in the sense of is it for me or not. And most people believe that it really is one of those things that anyone can use and that it's fine, but that's not necessarily the case, especially with how it's evolved so quickly over the years of the industries slowly legalizing it to a recreational standard. And a lot of people think that it's all going to be generally used for the same thing, but that's not the case. Especially after working in the industry, I slowly started to realize these things. I mean, people have used it on several different occasions that I've come across, from pain management to anxiety relief to even creativity like painting or just trying to use it as a socializing thing, relaxation, and medical use too, like people that need it to try to prevent seizures or epileptic cases in that sense. And there's a lot of reasons why people could be behind it, and they're all going to be different for everybody. And unfortunately for me, I started to use it at an early age, and I wasn't using it for the right reasons. I was leaning on it as a dependency, as an escapism, like some people would try to use it, but I was escaping my own thoughts, my inner dialogue that was telling me how to take care of myself and what to do and what not to do. So it led me into the even worse direction over long periods of time of using it when I thought it was helping me when it truly wasn't. And that led to terrible use problems where I was constantly depending on it on a day to day. I had terrible brain fog and I could barely hold a full conversation with people, even if it's in myself of having that inner dialogue where I couldn't talk and discuss the things that I needed to speak out on as far as the problems I was dealing with on a day to day. And it reduced so much ambition for me that I couldn't even bring myself to do things when I really needed to. And escaping those problems instead of solving them was a horrible, horrible choice of mine. And the financial costs that I was constantly having to burden myself with by spending tens of thousands of dollars on it, especially, was not worth my loss of time or money that I put into it. But in my experience, that's what I had to deal with, and that's something that I had to realize over the past few years and work on so I wasn't coping using a drug. And working in the cannabis industry completely changed my angle on it too. It was constantly normalized with so many people and so many customers that frequent use is a normal thing when it shouldn't be that way. It's almost as if you were working inside of a liquor store and people were coming in every single day telling you that they weren't feeling it anymore and that it didn't actually do anything, but they continued to spend their money on it. It doesn't seem like it's the right position that anyone should be in. And my perspective over weed just changed over time with that, and it completely surprised me. And there were so many things that actually came across the point that I'm trying to make here, and that's the benefits don't always fall in line for who you might be or who I might be, and it might fall in line for you too. Someone could be using cannabis occasionally under medical supervision for a legitimate condition that they may have, and very different experiences are going to come from that compared to someone who's using it every day just to avoid stress or just out of sheer boredom. And neither one of those things are necessarily wrong. It just depends on your reasoning, your purpose for it, and what type of person you are whenever it comes to that. I unfortunately had a very addictive personality towards it, and I would just use it and cope and cope and cope and smoke and smoke and smoke all day, every single day, and get nothing from it anymore. So I stopped and asked myself whether this was good or bad for me. And I started asking whether it was helping me become the person I wanted to be. And soon to come to realize it really wasn't helping me. It was making me a person and helping me decide the person that I really was. And that was the loneliness and the boredom of trying to actually not do things in life was overtaking everything that I had done with it. So I slowly tried to force myself away from it. And it took me several different attempts to actually stop using it. But after about 10 years, I finally put the hammer down and said that I'm not going to let this overtake the choices of my life or overtake the things that I want to do with it. But that's just one position that I have on it. I've quit several different times, and I've relapsed several times too. Moreover, on the fact that it's not gonna be something as easy as most people can make it out to be. I know that I've said that quitting is as easy as just making yourself do it, but I could tell myself that earlier on in my journey of actually not trying to use it, and earlier me would have said you're an idiot, because I know that that's not really how it goes. You don't just say that you're going to stop smoking and then it just happens. You have to quite literally change your mindset, get into your own spiritual motive of you need to do this for you and no other reason outside of that. And whenever I started asking myself what I was really doing it for, and realizing that I wasn't doing it for the people around me or even just so that I could better anything else except for myself. And that's entirely what changed it. I wasn't doing it for anything. I was quite literally just building a better version of me. And whenever I'm trying to build a better version of me, since I'm a competitive person and also an addictive person, I compete to win, and I build an addiction into something that I'm making a decision on to where I'm going to consistently do it until I get myself burnout or sick of doing it. And this doesn't mean something as if I hate weed or hate people using it. I absolutely adore some of the people that actually use it. There's tons of comedians, and I have tons of friends that actually do still use it to this day, and I have no problems or quarrels with that. I just don't necessarily choose to do it myself anymore, especially whenever I've come on the journey that I'm on and I want to continue going. And I feel like the people that I've been around are kind of proud of that. And it's one of those weird cases where, almost like how alcohol can be, some people can just be the wrong people for you. Whenever you're at a party, people try to seem it out to be that you have the problem if you decide to not drink, when it's not even the other way around. It's just not the case at all. Some people have their own choices and some people have theirs. People can enjoy it and people can be around the others that don't, but still deal with each other and have a good friendship or not. It's all dependent on the people. That's one of the things that I've tried to push across the industry in my own experiences of it's going to be different for everybody. There is no singular strain or singular effect that people are going to find that everyone's going to be able to relate to. That's one of the reasons why I kind of fell in love with the industry and fell in love with the plant in the first place. It almost has a gambling addict sense to it, where I could smoke this strain and feel one thing one day, but if I smoke it again the next, it could be a completely different feeling. And whether people like that or not, at the time of using it, I really did. Now that I look back on it, especially in my own experiences of the last times that I've used it, where I smoked out of a cart, which completely ruined my own motive towards it and gave me panic attacks, I started seeing that I didn't like this feeling of unexpected gambling of how my feelings are going to be or how my mental state is going to reflect from this drug. And that's one of those things that some people don't really take seriously when it comes to this thing. Some people find it fun or amusing that this thing can almost overtake your entire mental state just in a couple of hits or even just one breath. And that seems like almost dangerous to some people, and some people find it fun. It's a real different situation when it comes to how this drug affects people, and I find it insanely wide variety of the difference of dualities when it comes to this thing. Some people might hate it, some people might love it, but I guess I'm sitting in the middle because I've dealt on both sides, and I guess I don't really want to lean any other way. And I'm not saying that I'm going to completely go off my rocker and say that nobody should use weed. I believe that it does stand in a good place for some people, that it is best for you to stay on it. And some people that maybe quitting is an idea that you should keep in mind and maybe try it for once and see how you feel. And I've had a lot of questions based off of my own story as far as quitting goes. And if you do have any sort of real fight with being able to quit, maybe just try one step at a time. Slow down on it, maybe spend a little bit less, see if you can lower the potency, and maybe that can help you get across your actual understanding of whether or not it's good for you and whether or not you should be taking a break or stepping away. It's not always everyone's case that they can just stop immediately and cold turkey their way out of something, especially as far as a drug that you're putting into your body and you're almost building a reliability or a dependency on. Sometimes that can even be dangerous. And I'm not trying to demonize weed in any way, form, or fashion. Of course, it has its good notes and its bad notes. It's all dependent on the person, like I've said. So if you do seem to feel like I'm going after it or attacking it, I promise you that is not what I'm trying to get across here. What I'm really trying to focus on is my journey with it, how I've proceeded to build the experience and reputation that I have with it and away from it, so that I can maybe help another person in the future. And if you did like this video or have any sort of suggestions or comments that you would like to make on my journey or maybe even your own, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. I love to have an honest conversation with you guys, and I read every single one of them too. And of course, this is just a reflection of my own personal experiences and journey, so please don't take it personal. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.